You tune into the Sportscast with Brian, Craig, and Jeff. Give you all the sports news you need. We give you outspoken thoughts about all the headlines. We talk baseball, football, hockey, and more. No matter the topic, we cover it. Get ready for the show and keep it outspoken. Keep it outspoken. We keep it outspoken only on the Sportscast. Tune into the Sportscast. With Brian, Craig, and Jeff give you all the sports news you need.
Hey guys, welcome in to the Outspoken Network Sportscast Edition here, episode 184, which we're going to talks on Tuesday Conference Championship Recap edition here for you. Got your hosts Brian and Craig. Craig, how's it going, brother?
Howdy, sir. Texas is apparently shut down with a half-inch ice.
Shut down. Yes, we are.
Not
we are
working till like next month.
Yeah, we are shut down. Me and Craig, with what we do, we cannot go to work, so
Do not
probably
pass go. Do not
Yeah.
collect $200.
probably not till Friday. So we've got a lot of time on our hands here, which is good and bad. But we've got to recap the conference championship games for you. We got headlines of the week. I forgot the intro music. That's my bad. We've got head coaches going everywhere. We've got first round picks for retired coaches and much more right after this, guys. And Craig, as we break down this recap, I'm getting breaking news here that ought to make that'll make the headlines edition here really interesting. Really interesting. But welcome in, guys. Great for you guys to join us. We are doing the show a little early today, just because we can. You know, it's we have all the time in the world. So, we had some interesting games this weekend. We had one game that was completely crap. It was terrible to watch, and we had another game that was pretty interesting. The Eagles and 49ers game was absolutely garbage to watch, Craig. I don't know if you turned that on, but when you have a quarterback that can't throw a football and all they can do is literally run.
More than 4 yards. Comes to find out he has a torn UCL and he'll be out 6 months.
Oh, yeah, just not good. And I don't know what
There needs to be a rule, an emergency, like you can emergency activate somebody, you know, in that situation. I mean, because clearly,
it's bad.
The two running backs, you know, over there looking at play sheets, going. I mean, old dude's getting his calf worked on while he's trying to read a play sheet, going, "Yeah, we can do it, coach.
We can do it. Put us in. I'm ready."
Yeah.
Their backup, their fourth-string practice squad quarterback who signed up to hold the clipboard this year got put in, and he crapped the bed and pissed down his leg. And
Josh Johnson.
He fumbled the snap.
Amazing, like people running into the jail cell screaming, and he's waking up like, "What? I gotta go in the game." Like
he fumbled the snap, had a chance to get it on the ground right there, and he's like wobble. I'm like, "What are you doing?" After that, they were like, "Yeah, let's just go in and hand the ball off."
The Eagles' path to the Super Bowl this year is the weakest I've ever seen in my life. We played a Giants team that didn't show up, and we played a 19th string hot dog stand quarterback.
Look.
But yet, we're the greatest team on earth, and we're going to win all the Super Bowls.
I'm going to fight back on this, Craig. I'm going to fight you on this.
Make it stop!
I'm going to fight you on this. I remember we had this conversation a little bit ago about should they play Jalen Hurts to lock up the first round pick? This is why you do it. You play Jalen Hurts, they get the first round pick. They have home field advantage. They don't pick who they play. They beat the easy Giants. They come in and they make the play to injure the quarterback and seal this deal.
Oh.
You can call it easy.
Nobody blocks Hassan Reddick, who's apparently the best pass rusher known to earth, but yet nobody even knew his name. He had to Google his name. He
goes in there and lays him out.
Superman flies in and, nobody touched him.
I saw this meme that people are posting with a Mickey Mouse, and I'm like, get out of here. They got the first round pick. They got the bye. They got the home field advantage. They get the easier seed, which happened to be the Giants because the Vikings choked. And then they make the play to put the quarterback out. I'm not going to blame them for that at all. I will fight you on that one. Not saying it wasn't easy, but they earned that spot.
Shanahan not challenging terrible catches.
Hey, that was a nice catch.
It was not a nice catch. It was a nice attempt at a catch, but you didn't catch it. You rolled on the ground. The ball's rolling around. Hey, he knew when he got up. He's like, "Hey, get to the line and snap the ball."
You see the receiver. He's like, "Come on,
I didn't. Come on! I didn't catch it. Let's go." I don't care what play we run. Just snap the ball. I don't care if it's a false start. Just go.
He swallowed the flag or something over there,
bro. He's like, we didn't have a good angle. No, you didn't have. Apparently, you didn't have any angle because it was clear.
Yeah, when that quarterback went out.
No, as soon as Purdy goes out, it was over. There was no way Josh Johnson. He's played. You try to love these stories of guys that have hung around the league 13 years, and this is his third stint with San Francisco. Well, you should have known more than 2 plays if this was your third time with the team.
Yeah,
I just don't. And Garoppolo's just over there smiling on the sideline going, I hope you guys
He's laughing. You see him laughing. They're like, oh, my gosh, she's hoping it burns down the 49ers.
He's like, they're showing all the deals. They're like, we lost. No, we didn't. Y'all did.
Y'all did. I love those memes.
Yeah.
So great.
Pal. This game was I mean, it just Jalen Hurts didn't play great. The rushing attack, Sanders was, I mean, average. And they put up 31 against a defense that had looked great all year. It'll be interesting to see what they do against Kansas City. Because that guy from Kansas City played the game of his life.
Who? The rookie running back?
No, the Chris the
Jones?
pass rusher, Chris Jones.
Oh, he's an absolute beast.
He never, up till that point, as much of a beast as he is, up till that game, he had never had a postseason sack, and he had 4, I think, that I counted.
Joe Burrow's offensive line was just terrible.
Wow.
When are they going to fix this? And they did put some pieces there, but they all go injured during the playoffs. You're like,
yeah, and this is what it looked like week 1 when he threw 4 interceptions, and they did fix the protection the second half. They did get him some protection the second half. But in that game, the officiating, I know you didn't watch the end of that game, but wow.
I've seen a lot. And
I mean, an extra play.
Yeah.
And I get it. Listen, I get the crowd noise, and I get that you tried to blow the play dead and it didn't work. But you allowed, before you alerted anybody that you had stopped the play, Kansas City had already run their punt team on the field. That's how long it was before the refs went, oh, hey. That other play didn't, like, CBS had changed the graphic to 4th down. Like, even when they said, we're going to reset the game clock, we're going to move, they're like, oh, okay, it's still 4th down. And they're like, what? They're going to go for it? And they were like, wait a minute, it's 3rd down. How did we miss it down? And it came to find out that they supposedly blew the play dead because the clock had started when it shouldn't supposed to.
They couldn't hear the whistle.
They couldn't hear the whistle. But like I said, they ended up running a play, then running the punt team out there on the field, and then they were like, "Oh, Zach Thomas was about to lose his mind. I mean, he was about to lose his mind on the side.
Should have.
And then, there's a block in the back on the punt return, that 30-yard punt return at the end of the game. The thing on Patrick Mahomes,
that was a flop. That was the weakest penalty call.
Because
a flop.
Because they had hit Burrow earlier in the game up the middle.
5 seconds.
Yes, he took 3 steps.
2, 3.
Burrow looked at the ref and went, "What?" And that's not called.
They missed a huge holding on that Mahomes run too. Huge, clear as day.
And when he hits that guy, he's falling down. His arms are in the. He doesn't extend his arms. He doesn't anything. And then for the Cincinnati teammates to be in the tunnel just blasting this kid. It was one guy. Yeah, what an idiot. And I saw a TikTok today that went through. The guy was like, "This is not the guy we're mad at." Like, and he showed like 5 plays that player had made in that game, especially in the fourth quarter. He had a game of his life, and because he barely touched Mahomes, and Mahomes sells it on the sidelines. And I don't like the possession before where they threw the interception, the 2 deep shot call. I don't like that at all. You went for it on 4th and 13 or 4th and 7 or whatever it was and got the big thing to chase. But the next 2 that you went down the field and they intercepted that on, I don't like that play call. Run something underneath, run slants, run stuff that's been working. To run down the field twice, I don't like that at all. It's going to be a good Super Bowl. It really is. The Kelsey brothers, the coaching, the Andy Reid Bowl, as you call it, because he used to coach Philly, but God, I don't like Sirianni. I just cannot.
Well, go back to this Bengals-Chiefs game. This game was lost in the first quarter for me for the Bengals. They came out flat. They did not. Don't put that up yet. Don't put that up yet. We will talk about that in the headlines. Okay. That's the breaking news I was just telling you about. It's going to be interesting to talk about, and I wish we had Jeff on the show to debate this. But the Bengals came out flat. They did not protect Joe Burrow. He had no time to make throws. They came out. The Chiefs dominated his first quarter. And if you go look at the Bengals games, they usually come out and dominate the first quarter. They score first. They've outscored their opponents. It was like I don't know how many points to 0 in the first quarter. And they came out and they were slow. They were not dominant. They did not start very well in the first quarter. And I think they were just trying to catch up the rest of the game, and they should have won this football game, but Chiefs end up winning, and they go on to face the Eagles in Super Bowl, which we will see in 2 weeks. And that's actually it's on my birthday this year on a Sunday. So
nice.
Yeah. Ryan says Dez caught it. No, he did not. Sorry there, Ryan. We will argue that till the day we die.
He caught it about as much as what the guy from Philadelphia caught that pass over there.
Yeah. So,
they were the first game was very disappointing.
Very disappointing.
I expected a down to the wire, down like a field goal kick to end the game, and the second that San Francisco, I didn't even know when he got hurt. I'm like, who do they have? I didn't even know they had Josh Johnson.
Apparently nobody.
Yeah, apparently that me could have done a better job.
I could catch snap.
Yeah.
That I don't know. It's just that game was very annoying, frustrating.
It was because San Francisco played well all year, and I mean, if that happens to Dallas, then Dallas can beat them too. I mean, they lose their best pass rusher, they lose their quarterback, they lose. I mean, what are we doing? Bosa was in and out of the game. The linebacker was in and out of the game. the quarterback was out of the game, and then when he came back, he couldn't. All they could do was run. And then the lineman yanking that dude down like he was a rag doll at the end of the game. That just, to me,
49ers are sore losers.
Yes.
Sportsmanship.
But it'll be a good game.
We'll be back on Friday to break down the game. It should be pretty interesting going the Super Bowl matchup. I'm sad to see that football's almost over. Sucks. But all right,
it went by very fast this year.
Yes. All right. Well, we got more to discuss in the headlines than I thought. In the last hour before we started the show, some things have been breaking down. So let's go ahead and jump into headlines of the week. All right. Well, we got some headlines for you. Some more of a breaking news that the Denver Broncos, are working out the deal to hire Sean Payton, which we like. Okay, Sean Payton's going to Denver. Kind of saw this coming. I mean, it was kind of in the works.
Except for he didn't get along with ownership because they didn't want him to.
Now he denies
be in
that.
Charge. I know, but I'm just.
There was a power struggle there. Apparently. Well, this is breaking news here that the Broncos spent the day trying to convince Demiko Ryans not to go to Houston. He refused, so they closed the deal with Payton. So they wanted Demiko Ryans.
They've been trying. They were trying.
And he said, "No, I'm going to go to Houston."
Yeah.
Which
he told them the other day before the game, before the championship game, that he wasn't interested. Was the report. And I just don't think he wants to work with Russ. He doesn't. I mean, that's whatever's wrong with Russell Wilson, whatever needs to be done. It's going to take. I mean, Demiko Ryans is a defensive-minded head coach. He's the coordinator for San Francisco. So I don't think he wants to be responsible for. And when he comes, does he get to bring an offensive coordinator? Like, how does that work? Like, I mean, all those guys already have jobs. So, I don't know how you would fix Russ. I think this is the biggest thing. Plus, that organization hasn't really been known since Manning left for really having their stuff together. Although I'm not sure that Houston, Texas is a much better choice. That to me is you're not winning either way.
There's Jeff saying that report of Demiko Ryans thing is fake. I'm telling you, it's so funny. Anyways, I just don't. Giving up a first round pick for
absolutely.
a head coach is dumb. Dumb. They will get the 2023 first round pick, which is number 30 overall, which is given to them by the 49ers to Miami. Miami traded that pick for Bradley Chubb early in the season, so they had the first round pick. They trade that pick and a second round pick in 2024, and they get a pick. They get a third pick coming up, but our third pick from the Saints, I think this season. Just a first round pick for head coach is not, in my opinion, not very smart, and I wouldn't do it. There's not a head coach in the league I would trade a first round pick for.
Maybe Belichick.
Yeah, maybe, but that's a lot. And what do you think about Sean Payton? I guess it all goes to that point because I don't think Sean Payton. He was a good head coach. Was he? I don't think he was that great. He had Drew Brees. They went 8-8 3 years in a row with an elite quarterback.
I mean,
they went to the Super Bowl one time,
and really was the year that they went. Was that the year that the Rams? No, that was the other year because the Rams went instead because the Rams were the guy that pass interfered.
Yeah.
And it wasn't called. but no, yeah. I mean, you won one Super Bowl, but you didn't 8-8. You had trouble with your stud wide receiver was basically he stopped coming to games and stopped practicing because he got into it with Sean Payton. I just he's a hard-nosed, hard to get along with. I don't think it's a good fit for Russ. I don't. They say that Russ has been in contact with him and is willing to whatever he thinks he can fix me and this and that and the other. But I don't know if those two personalities are going to mesh.
You're exactly right. And then you look at Sean Payton comes in and he takes over the whole. He wants to run it like a college football team.
Absolutely.
He wants total
wants
control.
Yeah, draft. He wants
something
all that, and I don't.
that
It just doesn't work in the NFL.
I wonder if the Broncos are going to let that. I mean, are the Broncos in the ownership? Because there was reports that he didn't know if the job was going to work because of a power struggle between owner of a person in the manager group, the owner group. Excuse me. That this could pay a toll if they come out season one, they're not doing so well, and Sean wants to go get somebody, and they're like, nah, we're not going to spend the money, and I mean you got some big issues. So I
don't have to worry about it this year because they don't have any draft picks.
That's true. They don't got no first round draft picks. We'll see. We thought Russell Wilson going to Denver was going to be a good thing. Hasn't turned out to be so good. Sean Payton, maybe he'll turn it around. I don't know, but I'm not a huge believer in Sean Payton.
I think you're going to lose some of those wideouts. I think some of those contracts are up, and so I just don't know what that team's going to look like. And
they got a good defense and they have talent, but this talent won't be around for.
It's not. I mean, it gets older every year, and the biggest question is your quarterback. Is your quarterback over the hill, or is your quarterback did he just have a bad season and didn't like the play calling? I don't know. Did they get rid of the offensive coordinator? I mean, I'm assuming Peyton's going to bring his own staff in.
I'm sure Peyton will bring in whoever he wants.
Yeah, because
there was talks about when that first rumor that Peyton was interested in the Denver bringing Vic Fangio on as defensive coordinator, but Vic Fangio is Miami's defensive coordinator now.
And they might have lost out on that by this whole having to work out contracts and everything like that, and having to work out the compensation. They might have lost out on the guy they wanted.
Jeff's on. It says, outside of San Francisco 49ers, in terms of the West Coast, the Broncos are one of the top teams in terms of popularity. West Coast organization type of team. I mean, the Broncos do. I mean, they are popular franchise. I don't know what to say about that, but I just don't like this hire, giving up a first round pick for a head coach. I won't. Unless it's Bill Belichick, and that's if you believe Bill Belichick's still the guy. But
yeah, I mean, Bill Belichick a couple years ago, maybe, but not maybe Bill Belichick in his 70s.
The biggest question mark here is going to be, can Sean Payton turn around Russell Wilson? And maybe that's why Demiko, is it Demiko Ryan?
I think it's Demiko, but
Demiko Ryan. Maybe that's why Demiko Ryan said no, because he's not an offensive guy, right? He's a defensive guy, so maybe he's like, well, I can't turn around Russell Wilson.
Yeah,
and he decided. He decided to go with the Houston Texans, the dumpster fire of the Texans over the Broncos, which is a weird.
The only thing I guess you look at there is you do have the number 2 pick in the draft, and you'll be able to get a franchise quarterback and hopefully
start your way.
And I mean, I guess the Texans this year, they were in quite a few games. They looked like they had kind of a nucleus there.
They almost beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, they almost beat the Cowboys. So if you look at, if I have a starting quarterback, if I have the top tier quarterback, then maybe I can make a big jump in my first year.
I think him going there and adding a good offensive coordinator would be really good for him.
Yeah. I don't know who's left though.
Yeah.
Maybe the guy from the Chiefs, if him and
there's talks that he's leaving regardless.
That's what it sounds like. Again, though, I don't understand. This guy is just snake bit in not being able to get a head coaching job. All these openings every year, and he doesn't even get an interview. You would think that
there was
he
a
would
couple,
at least get interviews.
There's got to be something that happened because a couple of years, I think it was last year, the year before, he was interviewed.
Horrible.
He was interviewed. He must interview horribly because he interviewed and I was like, okay, this guy's for sure going to get one of these jobs, and he never did. No. And so there's something behind there doing with Eric because his resume says otherwise, that he's good. Maybe he goes there. I don't know. I think he's getting, I wouldn't say fed up, but there's, you just get time where you're like, okay, I've done all I can do here. Let's move on. And maybe he's just a lifetime offensive coordinator. He can go down there with Ryans and see if they can turn the organization around. But
I wish he was tied to Dallas somehow.
Yeah, come in here and you don't want him because if so, let's get into that real quick. So Kellen Moore gets fired as the offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys.
Not necessarily fired. It was a mutual agreement.
No, give me that mutual agreement crap.
No, honestly, I believe what they told him was you can go the way that San Diego picked him up so fast. That job was already agreed to when they fired him. There's no way that less than 24
didn't fire
hours,
him.
Well, whatever. That's what I'm saying. I mean, when they part ways, less than 24 hours, he's the offensive coordinator for the deal. You can't even interview that fast.
My thing is the Cowboys always try to find a way where no one's fired and it's all a mutual agreement and no one's upset and they held on to Jason Garrett forever, and then they didn't fire him. They just didn't re-sign his contract, so it's not technically. Like, okay, mutually agreed, whatever. He's fired, and he's now the offensive coordinator for the Chargers. And I think the Chargers. It's interesting to me because Cowboys say they hate Kellen Moore, but they also have one of the highest scoring offenses, so it doesn't really make sense.
1, 3, and 4 the last 3 years.
What, 1, 3, and 4 as offensive?
They were the number 1 scoring offense, the number 3 scoring offense, and the number 4 scoring offense the last 3 years.
So why is he sucked then?
Exactly. Oh, I think
that doesn't add up to me.
And it's not that he sucks. He is a very, very sophisticated offensive mind, but I think he continues to do things. This is what I saw in Dallas, is that he continued to do things. It was like he went to Dak Prescott and said, what are the things that you do not do well? What are the routes that you don't throw well? What are the routes that you struggle with? And then he went, all right, we're going to run those. Like, why are we not setting the quarterback up to be in his strength? What does Philadelphia do? Philadelphia retooled their entire offense to be around Jalen Hurts. What does Jalen Hurts do well? Okay, the run-pass option, the quick passes, the deal. They do it all. Every strong suit that Jalen Hurts has, they built that offense. They went and got an offensive coordinator, and they built their offense around what their quarterback does well. What is the Rams? The Rams changed their offense around to be around Stafford now. Goff didn't do this well. Goff didn't do that well. So they went and got a quarterback that went and found what they do well. These teams that succeed, Patrick Mahomes, Bieniemy, just wait and see if Bieniemy leaves to see how that affects Mahomes, to see if the next guy that comes in can be as successful with Patrick Mahomes as Bieniemy is. These coordinators, They latch onto these quarterbacks, and that's why when Baker struggled so much. Baker Mayfield had how many different coordinators and coaches in Cleveland when he started? Every year he had a new system he was learning.
Yeah.
These systems are built around, you need to build your offensive system around the strength of your quarterback. And I don't know if letting McCarthy call the plays, because this is another thing. McCarthy's not going to take the time to install the offense, to train the offense, to this. All he's going to do is call the plays. So now you need a coordinator to come in and install it all, and this and that and the other. And then here's McCarthy going to hand him the, well, how do you know what plays were running well? How do we know what plays work when you didn't install the offense? That makes zero sense at all. So I hope that right now, and I get what McCarthy's doing. McCarthy thinks, okay, we're firing the coaches, we're doing all this. They're basically going to fire me, so I'm going to go down swinging. I'm going to go down.
Yep.
I'm calling the plays at least.
Yep.
And so he's taken that back. But I just don't think that he's going to install the offense and take the time to do all that. So now you want somebody to come in and install an offense, and then you want here's the play call, and you want McCarthy to call the plays. Well, the guy calling it, like, that doesn't, like, I could go into a headset and go 37 right, jazz, I mean, whatever, and call the play into the headset. But if I don't know what's working against the defense that's being ran and all that, and to me that doesn't work. Now,
we haven't seen McCarthy call plays in a long time since in Green Bay.
No, and what happened in Green Bay was he never adapted. Like,
it worked. It never changed.
Yeah, it worked originally, but then he never adapted when the defenses started to adapt. He never changed. I mean, I remember, Aaron Rodgers looking at the sideline going, "What a stupid play call!"
Yeah, what a stupid effing play call.
What are we? Why are we running that? And so, if you look at it from that perspective, I mean, Dak Prescott's going to be like, what do you want me to run right now? Like, no. And if you don't have a running game on, that's because that's what ended Dallas' season. Was they ended up they lose their running back and Zeke's over the hill, and so they were one-dimensional. And so when you become one-dimensional, you get a pass rush. The thing about Dak Prescott is he needs time. So you need to find an offensive line. They need to completely retool their offensive line. And I don't think they have the draft picks to do it. I don't think that's a one-year fix. I think they have a couple good pieces, but Tyron Smith is over the hill. I mean, Bosa was pushing him back right into Dak's lap on the two long passes that he threw that were both underthrown. That's because Tyron was in his lap and he couldn't step forward. Granted, he's in a position that he's not normally used to playing, blah, 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 blah. Tyron's old. Tyron's getting pushed around. There's no way that 2 years ago that somebody would have pushed Tyron back into Dak Prescott's lap. But Dak Prescott does not do well under siege. When they went 13-3, he only had 4 interceptions. It's because he was able to look out, survey the thing, pick the right guy to throw the ball to, had time. Dallas doesn't really have a deep threat. They just run everything's underneath. They don't have a guy that creates separation. Everything's tight window throws. Well, that's never been Prescott's strong suit. It's never been. Dak's not throwing the needle through the bucket. He's not dropping it over the top and hitting. I mean, Burrow threw a pass the other day that the guy wasn't even out of his break yet. He's running an out and up and wasn't even out of his break yet. And he throws him and he stumbles, and it hits him in the helmet. And they're like, Well, I mean, it wasn't off. I mean, 40 yards down the field and it hits him in the helmet. He's like, that's still pretty accurate. I mean, that is what Prescott's not doing that. Prescott's not throwing the ball. He's tried to start doing it, and that's why the interceptions went through the roof, was because he was trying to throw routes that this guy's supposed to be over here. Well, then the wide receiver would let up on the route and the defensive back would finish it. Or this would get jumped, or that would get jumped, or he wouldn't see a linebacker. Like, he's never been great against zone coverage. Well, what's 90% of NFL defenses? Zone coverage. So if you don't like zone coverage, and wide receivers aren't fighting back to the ball. I mean, that's what Mahomes the other day. When you watch Mahomes throw a pass, it got knocked down, and he's standing there, and he's like, you have to come back to the football. You have to come back and get it. You can't just stand there and wait for it. Like, and I've never once have I seen Dak Prescott get into a receiver and go, no, you've got to continue that route. You've got to do this. You've got to do that. Like, he just goes, oh, well. I mean, it's like Elmo back there. He's like,
yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. That we threw another pick, and
We'll
then
next time, guys.
And then he's like a drug addict on the stage over there. Well, this time I'm really done. We're not gonna throw any more interceptions. Then he throws another interception. All right. Well, I mean, this time I'm really done. I'm really done. I'm not gonna go back. Stop going back into the rabbit hole. Like, you can't keep doing that. Can't keep saying that I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to do it anymore. I mean, he had one game in which he didn't do it anymore, and guess that would, what that game was, the Tampa game, in which he looked phenomenal and won. So you have to give him some time. You've got to put some receivers around that can get some separation. Of course, you cannot be one-dimensional. You have to have a running game, and I just think the Dallas Cowboys right now need too much that one draft is not gonna fix.
We are. Cowboys are interviewing running back coach Jeff Nixon from the Carolina Panthers for the offensive coordinator job, so that'll be interesting. He stepped in, and ran the offense when sorry, just trying to text me. He says he can't text and he can't comment on the thing. I don't know why, so he's trying to comment on my phone, but you're gonna have to wait till Friday, Jeff, when you can be on the show.
Yeah, just save it till Friday, and then you can unload. We'll give you a whole segment of Jeff live.
Yeah. But you're interviewing the running back coach. He stepped in and recalled plays after y'all traded McCaffrey and stuff, I guess, or after they traded McCaffrey, but I don't know. I don't even know who the guy is. News broke this week that Stetson Bennett got arrested for public intoxication in Dallas. I don't know why he's still in Dallas.
Bitter TCU fans.
Yeah, I just got saying that. Bitter TCU fans. Well, he was going around drunk, knocking on people's door at 6 a.m. I'm calling the police too. Like, don't not come knocking on my door at 6 in the morning. Who are you? What is wrong with you? And then you probably knocked on the door of a TCU fan. They were like, "That's Stetson Bennett."
Yeah, I know who that.
Guy's 30 years old, still playing college football. Arrest him.
I know who that guy is. That guy kicked our ass. Get rid of him.
Oh yeah, sit him down in the drug tank. I thought that was interesting.
Okay.
Interesting story. Yeah, that's what the text said. Stop making excuses for Dak.
No, I mean, I get it.
I'll let you answer this one.
No, I get it. I mean, the Chiefs lose every wide receiver that they had. I mean, Dowdell Scantling was the number one wide receiver, and he has the game of his life in the playoffs. And
he can do that for Green Bay, but he does it for.
But yet, I mean, and Patrick Mahomes did not have. I mean, he didn't light it up. He threw for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, but the one touchdown he threw That's a throw Dak Prescott's not making. The one in the middle of the field where the defensive back was trying to come across Scantling space, and he threaded the needle and put it right between the one and the one. And listen, there's one Patrick Mahomes. We had this discussion last week. There's one of those guys. Burrow's great. Herbert's great. But there's one guy that's running out there with a high ankle sprain and throwing BBs around in an AFC championship and winning 5 AFC championships in a row. But he has one title. And if he wins another one, then he has 2, and now we can talk into the greatest of all time and all that stuff. But Dak Prescott, I've never claimed for Dak Prescott to be Patrick Mahomes. He's not, and he's never gonna be.
No. Now,
you know,
Jeff, I will tell you this, and I told Craig this last week, and I can't wait for you to be on the show Friday. Hopefully, you're on the show Friday. We can give you want to go on a rant session, you can. I told Craig this last week. Dak Prescott is a good quarterback, but he needs a lot of help around him to succeed. He's not elite. He doesn't. He's not going to carry the team on the back and win a difficult playoff game. He's not. He needs a lot of help around him to do so. He's getting paid to be elite, but he's not an elite quarterback. And there's no argument there. This is going into next year will be his 7th year in the league. We know what Dak Prescott is. He needs a running game. He needs a great offensive line. He needs weapons. Some quarterbacks don't need as much as Dak Prescott to get the job done.
And he has, like Jeff said, he has had at times a solid offensive line and whatever. And he went 13-3. And I mean, the playoff game that he won or lost to Green Bay had to be a wonderful throw by Rodgers.
If the Cowboys need the perfect recipe, then good luck, Cowboys. They need to hire Cooper Rush to be his quarterback coach. Patrick jumping on here. They need to go get John Kitna from Burleson and bring him back. That's when Dak Prescott made a leap, is when they had John Kitna, and then McCarthy came in and fired him.
Yeah, no, I agree. I totally agree. Burleson, Jerry Jones can pay more than what Burleson Elks are paying him, and that experiment is not not working out as it is. That team's terrible.
Jeff, will you be on Friday? Will you be on the show Friday?
I think he said he was.
Clutch is the reason the Cowboys can't do it with Dak.
And I mean, for the most part, he's right. For the most part, in those situations, he's never been that. But he played well in the Tampa game.
Okay. He did play well in the Tampa game, but it was against Tampa.
Well, I mean, yeah.
They're not a good football team. That's my argument. You beat Tampa, and I was like, okay. Okay, they're 9-8 football team. Let's see if that could beat the 49ers. And they should have. They all should have beat the 49ers. That was a game y'all should have won. And this didn't. But this has apparently turned into the Cowboys episode again. Like, I don't. Winning number 2 receiver, a better running game, and patch up the other line for Dak to win. You definitely need a number 2 wide receiver. Gallup's not been the guy you need him to be.
I agree with all those things.
You paid him. Your offensive line needs to be better, but I wouldn't say it's horrible. I'd say a couple patches here or there.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And your running game, you need to get rid of Zeke. I don't care if he wants to come back on a cheaper schedule, on a cheaper contract, unless it's league minimum. You get rid of him.
And I don't think that's even possible. I don't think that there's no way that the Players Association is going to let the running back go. Hey guys, I know I'm supposed to make $7 million this year, but just
I want to give all that back.
Yeah, I just want to give all that back and make $300,000. I don't think the Players Union is not going to allow that, so that's not going to happen. Plus, Zeke's father came out and said that story is fake anyway.
Well, you hope that Jerry Jones makes a smart decision and gets rid of him.
Yeah.
And then you hope that I really like Pollard. You really hope that Pollard's injury isn't gonna change his career, because sometimes when you snap a leg, sometimes that's what happens.
100%. Yeah.
Especially as a running back. But then you draft one, and you don't draft a first round running back, Craig, in my opinion, but you draft a running back, and you kind of do it. You know, running backs are easy to replace,
and that's why. And Dallas has never done that. You know, and he's right. Tyron Smith was getting old, and Zach Martin.
He's still a Pro Bowler. I mean, he still isn't.
Yes, but the way he ended this season, he told 3 or 4 different staff members, like, thank you thank you for this, thank you for that. There is a possibility that Zach Martin retires in the offseason. And boy, oh boy, you talk about if the Cowboys would be in deep trouble if that happens.
That's a guy you sit there, you don't even got to worry about him. So that'd be a big loss for the Dallas Cowboys offensive line. Tyron Smith, they should have traded him a couple years ago when he wasn't injured, and they could kind of see him start declining a little bit, but they want to hold on to guys. I don't know. This is turning into the Cowboy Hour here on the Outspoken Network here. And Ryan Sims is missing it all.
Yeah, thank God. You want to talk about the Cowboy Hour, it would be over.
He would be, yeah. Gallup had an injury and got a big contract in the offseason. They worked out well, so wouldn't be surprised if they gave Pollard one because Jones is a dope. Yeah. I mean, I like Pollard. I think he's way better than Zeke, and what he can do if healthy. What he can do if healthy out of the passing attack is wonderful, but you never know with him breaking a leg, and you probably want to move on at this point. I mean, you just never know with it.
I would. I don't know if they will, but I would.
First, you got to hope they move on from Zeke. That's your big mistake.
That's where you start.
And Jerry Jones loves Zeke and back Zeke up every bit of the way. So that's been his little pet, his little baby.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, this season to start the year, his comment was, "This offense runs and survives through Zeke Elliott." You know, and
this is the 1990s, Jerry. It should be running through your $40 million quarterback that you just paid. All right, guys. Has there been any more breaking news since we've been on this podcast, Craig? Have you seen anything pop across the ESPN here?
No, I have not.
We got the Broncos with a little bit of it's been a weird day for Bronco country, I guess. You hire Sean Payton.
Country, let's ride.
And you're like, yeah, we got Sean Payton, guys.
We gave up half our draft for Sean Payton.
Gave up a first-round pick. Oh, that kind of sucks. And then, wait a minute, we wanted Demiko Ryans, and he turned us down for the Houston Texans. Yeah. Wow,
told us that he would rather go to the worst team in all NFL to
that's just an interesting, because why would that be though? Why? I don't know. And
the only thing I can think of is that the having the number 2 pick in the draft is appealing, and that he likes their defensive system. He thinks he can work with that as his defensive mind. That system that they already have in place fits what he believes, fits what he coaches, fits whatever, you know. If they run the same type of defense and the same systematically is in place, I don't know what San Francisco runs. I didn't pay too much attention. That if they run a 3-4 or 4-3, and Houston has that in place, and he thinks he can work with that, and thinks he can lock that down, and then he gets the number 2 pick in the draft, and can draft his franchise quarterback to start out with. That is the way you want to start.
Be set up.
That's a good way to start.
Well, and you look at it the other way too. Is he going to be able to turn Russell Wilson around? I think those questions, being offensive minded,
not being offensive minded, 100%.
And maybe Sean Payton maybe Sean Payton can turn Russell Wilson around, because if he can't get Russell Wilson, it doesn't matter what head coach you got. It really doesn't. If you can't turn Russell Wilson around there in Denver.
No. If he's over the hill, or if he
and they can't get rid of him, his contract is they're stuck.
No. Yeah.
It's just been interesting to see the Denver Broncos struggle for years to get a quarterback, and when then they finally think they do, it's been a dumpster fire. Now it's year one. Maybe he'll turn it around, but
yeah. No, it is. So we'll be back Friday to hopefully cover the Super Bowl, even though it'll still be another week away. We can maybe discuss
any more breaking
940 news? Different Pro Bowl events that we're going to have, from golf to tiddlywinks.
Hopefully, tic-tac-toe. They're letting anybody in the Pro Bowl. Brett Hundley scored 2 touchdowns. Let's throw Brett Hundley in there as a quarterback.
Yeah.
Replace Josh Allen.
Let's
now I do think this will be. I do like the dodgeball. I do like some of the games.
Dodgeball, golf, longest drive.
You'll get some positivity from me, and Craig will shoot it all down. But Jeff will hopefully be on, and he'll give him Jeff's rant segment of the week.
Yeah. Jeff's hot corner over there.
Yeah. Between yeah, well, I didn't catch the Cowboy game this week either, guys. So
oh my god,
you cracked me up. I meant to text you that same thing there, Patrick, throughout the weekend. But so before the season started, we came up with our own questions for every NFL team. Me and Craig broke it down, and I'm gonna go back and listen to that audio. I have plenty of time to do that, since we'll be off until winter's over
next
here
month.
Yeah, but then what are we doing here? Anyways, I knew you would, yeah. Between the weeks, hopefully between the week of this week and the Super Bowl next week, probably next Tuesday, Craig's when we'll do that. We'll go through and answer those questions that we asked for each team, and see if they answer those questions during the season, and then we'll ask the question for each NFL team. Hey, did they have a successful season? So look forward to that on next Tuesday's show. Friday, Craig's hot take, or not?
Yeah, Jeff's hot
corner. He's going to come on and want to talk about the Broncos and the debacle of the Dallas Cowboys playoff game. So stick tuned for that, guys. Hope you have a great weekend. I say great weekend like it's Friday. It feels like a Friday. We don't know when we're going back to work here in Texas, and it kind of stinks for the paycheck, but it's nice to have some time off, I guess. Anyways, God bless, and remember,
keep it outspoken.